There is no triangulation in celestial navigation. So it is actually triangulation. There is no triangulation in celestial navigation. So it is actually triangulation.
With celestial navigation using a sextant, we're not triangulating.
So it is actually triangulation to the GP. So you can draw it on your chart, draw a line there, and then you do it for all three, and you get your intersection. So it is actually triangulation. There is no triangulation in celestial navigation.
With celestial navigation using a sextant, we're not triangulating.
So it is actually triangulation.
Are you serious? Are you...
The double-speaking, McBooger-eating, ball-tarred bum-sniffer wouldn't know what the sextant or celestial navigation were if they climbed up his arse and started kicking footballs wrapped in concertina wire.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
I think the sun is a physical object, and I think it is solid enough.
What the hell did you just say?
I think the sun is a physical object, and I think it is solid enough.
Say what?
Yes, a gas giant bounces radar.
How in the world can a
Gas giant
be
solid enough? So yeah, I don't know you
dumbass cracker?
So yeah, I was being a hyper. That was a hyperbole.
Hyperbole.
That was a hyperbole.
Hyperbole. Hyperbole.
That was a hyperbole.
You are so dumb. Damn.
And we're off. Welcome to the show. The nature of science and the scientific method. As usual, if you'd like to support this channel, there are PayPal and Patreon links in the info box below. Let's roll on over, see if my partner's out there. Partner in crime. It's going to be tomorrow. The beautiful Betty Van Velsen.
It's gonna be today.
little inside joke.
Yeah. Gonna be tomorrow. So it rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Gotta be tomorrow. Too funny.
Yeah, it's going to be tomorrow.
Yep. But it's now today.
Yeah, it's today now. So, welcome to the show. This is a really strange one on Thursday.
Yeah, why is that?
I had to go visit a campus, a potential campus to where my son's
You're gonna
going.
be back at school?
Say again?
You're gonna be back at school?
No, it's for my son.
They're gonna re-educate you?
I already been through re-education.
Well, re-educate you.
Retard.
Return to sender.
Yeah, so I had to go down there and visit the campus and track coach. Everything went well. It was just a long drive, so I've about had it with that little routine. By the way,
You did it only once.
no, I'm talking about the longer drives. My wife and I, we just can't deal with it anymore.
Oh, come on. When there's a tag somewhere where you're gonna shoot, you're gonna go there.
I'm not gonna drive.
You got your personnel for that.
Yeah, I got personnel for that. You're correct.
Oh, wow.
You get a scholarship for track, just out of curiosity.
Yes.
That's awesome. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, he's a running fool.
When you run like a deer, you get a scholarship, right, QE?
Yeah, that boy's a running fool, man. I was an idiot enough to think, because I used to be a runner. I wouldn't volunteer to run like distance, but I was pretty quick as a youngster. I'd run everywhere. I was like, Forrest Gump, he's a running fool, and bike a lot. But I got this thing in my head, your mind says one thing, it remembers, right? How fast I was. So I was stupid enough to think that if I could get him out the gate, then I could, be able to beat him. I could psychologically screw with him. Right? And I told that to Betty one day, and she goes, well, go ahead, race him. All right, do it.
Exactly, and tape it, because I want to see it.
Yeah, and it took like 6 to 7 months, and my sister was down here too.
A lot of excuses.
Yeah, well, we just never got around to it. I told him about it. He goes, okay, yeah. So, and that was my tactic, because I've done it before. If you get off the line really fast, and you can essentially mind screw your opponent to give up. So that was my whole tactic. Yeah. So we got out on the line, out on the road in front of the house, about 100 yards. And so we got ready to go. And I got in sort of my starting position to where I was ready to go. And I looked over at him and I said, this was a really stupid idea. I'm going to get smoked. And I tried to get out the gate. They said, go. And I guess for a split second, right, I was quicker out the gate, but it didn't go a full second. He was like 3 steps ahead of me.
Yeah, he was toying with you.
Oh my God, that guy, that your son was so fast. You can hardly see his legs moving. So fast. So it's like Speedy Gonzalez on steroids.
So he didn't mind screw me, but I kind of knew it was over before. I'm not that, how would you want to put it? I'm not that full of myself to realize, because when I looked over at him on the starting line, I knew it was over. I knew I had no chance.
Yeah, and you didn't even complete the course. You just stopped.
I didn't stop. I slowed down because he beat me. What was it?
Slowed down and eventually stopped. You didn't make it to the end.
What was it, like 15 lengths or something? He crushed me. It was embarrassing.
Well, it was before 1/3 of the track that you guys were supposed to finish. On 1/3, you already stopped.
No, I did. That's a damn lie.
He beat you like Secretariat beat horses?
Yeah.
15 lengths? Oh my God.
On the floor.
She's got this in her. She isn't going to shut up. She's going to exaggerate what had happened, right? She's not going to let you speak, Neil.
No, I'm not, because that's how it happened. You
Betty.
didn't the race.
So you mean to tell me, Betty, that he lost the way Secretariat used to beat horses? 15, 22 lengths?
Yeah.
Whoa. Hold on a minute. Let's give QE, this kid just got a scholarship to college for how fast he runs.
Hey,
and he
QE
only
got him in
beat
starting gate. QE got in position to race. I don't want to hear it.
And QE, being his father, at least 20 years older than him, was 15 lengths behind. That's good for QE.
No.
I'm just saying.
That's not the point refracted. The point is that he was, to me, saying that he could smoke his own son on the track. And it wasn't true.
It was.
He was boasting and saying, oh, that kid, he doesn't do it as well as I can do it. And it didn't work.
So
that's it.
So back.
The job of a parent.
So back to Neil. It was very similar to Secretariat versus other horses. I would categorize it as that. Yes.
But it's a parent's job to challenge their kids. So yeah, it was good that you challenged him. It's good, there wasn't nothing bad come of that. I mean, and it doesn't look bad on you because the kid's got a scholarship to college because he can run so fast.
Yeah, he must have good genes because back in the day we could do it, right?
Yeah, at my best, I could probably, I would get him on the 100. I wouldn't get him at distance though.
You were more a sprinter than a long.
Yes. Yes.
Runner.
Yep.
But this was a sprint.
But what?
This was a sprint that you were doing.
Yes, this was a sprint. Yes. Yep.
But the thing is that they train enormously on how to get out of the.
Yep.
How do you say that?
Out of the gate. We call it out of the gate, but out of the starting block.
Yeah, exactly. So they train on that, and if you start wrong, you already lost like seconds, or
Yes.
well, and those are precious seconds at the start.
Oh yeah, it was. Yes, it was. It didn't matter. I got this.
Because there was like a lot of people around. It was your sister, was she there?
Yeah, my sister was. Yeah, my sister was there. She ended up racing him after me.
Well, at least she's a good sport, right?
I had both videos. You've seen both videos. I sent them to you.
Yeah, but I can't remember her that much because I was laughing too loud. But
yeah, it was.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I deserved every bit of it.
Yeah. Well, you once said that your son was only on the gaming point, just gaming, sitting in his room, but I think that's long gone. I mean, he's really good at going out and doing stuff at school and.
Yes, he's coming to. He's coming.
Right.
Holy shit!
I wasn't done yet. He plays an instrument also, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's good. He's doing things. He's busy.
He came into his own.
Yeah.
Excellent. Hey, QE, there's something about running, right? Where everybody thinks they can win. There was this guy, Richie Doyle, right? And he had a sister. He comes around and he says, my sister could beat anybody in a race. And all like suckers, we lined up to race her, and she smoked every single one of us. And he walked away, and I took $100. She had long legs, but there's something about when a person runs for a living, there's like a certain professionalism about them, and it's like a deer. You're not beating them. She beat everybody by 5-10 lengths or more, no question. There was guys lining up. I could beat her. I could beat her. Smoke one, smoke two, and he was just laughing.
Yeah. All right. So have we covered that subject completely? We good on that one?
You want to go on? I think so. Huh?
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah, we can move on. Yeah, it was a humbling experience. I should have known better. Well, that was last year. He was 16. I was 58. You could do the math. You just have it in your mind, right? It never leaves you that when you were really fast. So it's hard to explain. The mind is there, but the body, it's not there anymore. Oh, poor baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that you also wanted to try and teach him archery, right?
Yep. He shot pretty good there for a little bit, but he's just so busy with school and extracurricular activities and track and cross country and stuff that just doesn't have time.
He did like it too, right?
Yes, he did. Yep.
Yeah. And then you sold his bow.
Yeah, I sold it. I gave him the right of first refusal.
Yeah, he didn't have any time anyway. So yeah.
That Matthew Eastman was saying that was just your pride fucking with you. There was no pride. There really isn't at this point. My pride is gone. So
gone with the wind.
Yeah. It kind of goes. You have to face reality, especially physically. Now there's certain things that he kind of because he weight trains too, and there's just certain like he's got young muscle, but I weight trained for a good part of my life, I stopped about 2014. That was probably my pinnacle, even at that at an older age. But I had just recently started again because I got into archery and I wanted to pick everything. I'm not in it as crazy as I used to be. But anyway, that's besides the point. There's a difference between old muscle and young muscle. So every once in a while, he'll walk by me and he'll puff up a little bit. I could just crush him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it also only goes so far as well, you know.
Yeah, it's funny, and it's basically, I don't know whether it's just old muscle is the only one, but it's like an attitude that I have that it's maybe better spoken as a constitution. We don't need to go down that road.
Isn't it so that there's some sort of rivalry with fathers and sons, and that's sort of a little natural, I think, and that there will be a turning point where, yeah, eventually you have taught your son everything that he should know, and then he sort of takes over, and that is a natural course of life.
Yeah, it is.
It needs to be. If you raise your son that he always will lose against you, what kind of people would we have as the next generation?
Yeah. Yeah, but he legitimately won. I didn't let him win like you told me with the other scenario.
Well, we have a little, yeah. I think I need to explain that to the audience.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, because you have some competition like nature, like you want to have everything you see sort of as a competition with, especially with your son back in the day. Remember, and that I told you about sort of a psychological like story about little rats and big rats. Remember that?
Yeah.
And there was an experiment done, and would you call this a natural fields?
Doesn't matter.
It was an experiment with rats, and they put a big rat in with a small rat, and every time the big rat could win, of course, but then the little rat didn't want to play anymore, so it would be like stagnant. Nothing would happen, right? So every once in a while, when the big rat would sort of let the other one win, it would get like, well, in a nasty not a nasty situation, but just like playful. They could play with one another, right? So
Sure.
And I told you that basically sometimes the big rat needs to take a dive for the team.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad. You're correct. You're right on
and
point.
You did when you ran that little track when you didn't get out of the gate.
No, that wasn't. I didn't take a dive. I actually dived.
And you could have got that with both hands, right? And took it like, yeah, I did this for my son so that he could win, right? But you didn't take it, so.
No. I was trying to win. I'm not one to take a dive. So.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So
All right.
this is a done deal now.
Sure is.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get to science?
Okay. What kind of science?
We got part C of, I call it part 3 or part C. It depends on the day. Well, let me make sure I got the right presenting screen. That would probably be good.
It's going to be today?
Going to be tomorrow. Oh, yeah. I forgot. I got to share. Got to share.
Yeah. Share.
That'll do it.
That'll do.
It's going to be right now. So let's roll. So this is pretty appropriate because it's too funny. I was on Nathan's show earlier today, and I mean before the show, and I was listening to the show, and of course it all revolved around science and the scientific method, and science proves things. And there was one numpty out in the audience. What was her name? Amy S. I usually don't look to the comments, but I was looking over there this time, and I seen her. over there and say that there's no proof in science. You only get proof in math and liquor. And she said that this is pretty simple stuff. And I was like, it just aggravated me. So I had to go on the show and I had to bow my way in there and call out Amy S. to get in the damn Discord so she could teach us on how simple this stuff was. Friggin' bozo. But anyway, as you were. So, the scientific method. This is a review, obviously, because we've been over this about 25 times in the last 2 presentations. But I wanted to pick out, the big guns in the room. Remember, not that step 2, 5, 6, and 7, not that they're not important, but they're more administrative and logistical. You still have to complete those steps. But these big blue guys, yeah, you're not getting to scientific evidence without them. Not going to happen. Peer review. This is a pretty good topic. Most people don't know, and I can say this confidently. Most people, I mean 99% of people don't know what peer review is. That's the folks out here in this genre. They haven't a clue. They think they know from, the words peer review, but they don't know. Have an idea. But we'll get to that. Peer review is the antithesis of actual science. Show the peer review step in the scientific method, right? The scientific method was created to rid the landscape of bias. That is, loudest voices, ruling class, majority, votes, consensus, or opinions, etc. The subjective. By instituting a method solely focused on the objective, that is empirical. What does empirical mean? Most people don't know what they think it's just this. They think empirical means observable. No, observable means observable. And empirical means observable and testable, repeatable, falsifiable. All of them, not just one. And by the way, crayon munchers, ball-tards, the repeatability is focused on the principle of testability, not repeating the observation, not closing your eyelids and opening them back up again. You clueless clowns. The goal of the scientific method is this: observable, testable, repeatable, falsifiable. If you could summarize the scientific method, that's it. The spinning space monkeys mindlessly appeal to it because it's the only way to get their fairy tales into the mix, whereby bastardizing it. Ooh, that was a quick one. I was quick on the draw. Peer review. Number 3, Catholic priests also have been banking on their internal peer review for centuries. Ball-tard science, which is religion, has much in common with theirs. This is quite eye-opening. From Richard Smith, MD, former editor of the British Medical Journal. That has quite a large impact factor, or small, depending how you look at it. Richard Smith has claimed that peer review is, listen up, ineffective, largely a lottery, anti-innovatory, slow, expensive, wasteful of scientific time, inefficient, easily abused, prone to bias, unable to detect fraud, and irrelevant. I think he got it all in a basket there for you, you peer reviewer idiot. From Goodstein, D, Conduct and Misconduct in Science, from Caltech, 2002. This isn't your librarian talking about it. Editors of scientific journals and program officers at the funding agencies have the most to gain from peer review. See what he's talking about peer review? He's talking about scientific journals, right? Not your buddies across the street looking at your work, morons. I digress. Editors of scientific journals and program officers at funding agencies have the most to gain from peer review, and they steadfastly refuse to believe that anything might be wrong with the system. Their jobs are made easier because they have never had to take responsibility for decisions. They are also never called to account for their choice of referees, who in any case always have the proper credentials. Since the referees perform a professional service, almost always without pay, the primary responsibility of the editor or program officer is to protect the referee. Thus, referees are never called to account for what they write in their reviews. So it's the referees that are doing the reviews, sponsored by the scientific journals and the editors thereof. As a result, referees are able, with relative impunity, to delay or deny funding or publication to their rivals. When misconduct of any kind occurs, it is the referee who is guilty, but it is the editors and program officers who are responsible for propagating a corrupt system that makes misconduct almost inevitable. This kind of misconduct, that is, I fear, rampant in all fields of science, not only biomedical science. Recently, as part of a talk to a large audience of mostly young researchers at an extremely prestigious university, I outlined this analysis of the crisis of peer review. The moderator, a famous senior scientist, was incredulous. He asked the audience how many disagreed with my heresy. No one responded. Then he asked how many agreed. Every hand in the house went up. Duh. Because it's all subjective. It has nothing to do with science or the scientific method. Nada. Zero. Niente. It's a circle jerk of the good old boy network. That's all this is. And they control funding. These people sit in rooms with a highlighter and really bad coffee breath. There's no experiments that they're repeating. Nothing like that. You idiots. Pretender clown morons come out. I know what peer review is. Yeah, sure you do. I haven't heard, in 7 years, I haven't heard one single person describe peer review as what it actually is. You got loads of pretender clown numpty dipshits out here. From Courtney, Harvard graduate. Comments regarding on the nature of science, physics in Canada. Listen closely. The author describes the three-legged stool of scientific error correction as experimental care, reproducible experiment, and peer review. Like Occam's razor, peer review is a temporal expedient for judging scientific work at a given time. Peer review serves the temporal interest of publishers, funding agencies, and employers. You see this? This is the punchline. You've heard this before from others. The ultimate arbiter of scientific validity is repeatable experiment alone. Alone. Nothing else. Duh. Boy, I'm starting to get fired up. The only aspect that should be expertly reviewed should be whether or not the researchers followed the scientific method. Make sense? It should be positioned right above the abstract. It should have this. At least the scientific method doesn't have to have it listed. At least those 3 steps that I have in blue should be answered. Titled, then answered. Very simply, right above the abstract. You ever see that? Nope. Never, and you never will. If they're not listed or are incoherent, then hasta la vista, baby. That's how we clean this mess up. Of course, then, NCBI database and Google Scholar will have like 3 or 4 studies in it, combined. Astronomy, astrophysics, and cosmology, and theoretical physics will take their rightful place at the bottom of the sci-fi section. Paleontology, archaeology, anthropology, geology will take their rightful place beside photography and bag of hammers observations with accompanying pontiff declarations. And evolution, whatever that is, and yes, I'm still laughing, will take its rightful place in religious studies, myths, and fairy tales, just below Humpty Dumpty. Will people lose their jobs? Yep. But hey, we still need people to pick up trash. A study done by Wharton School, University of Pennsylvania, Professor J. Scott Armstrong in 2017. Title of the paper: fewer than 1% of papers in scientific journals follow the scientific method. What the hell is going on out here? That's what the question you need to be asking yourself. Because this is mind-numbing. Fewer than 1% of butchers cut cow meat. Does that make any sense to you? That's what it's saying. Freaking clowns. Typical baller parrots. Science never proves things. That's a big one, right? That's been running around here recently. So we're right on topic. Science is self-correcting, which is fallacious and stupid. And science is always changing, again, fallacious and stupid. Sounds good. That's what they hear their Discovery Channel and alma mater from Wiki parroting or saying, and they just mindlessly parrot it, right? What are they, like I said, what are they saying? AKA mindlessly parrot. These belly-laughing fallacious train wrecks. That's what they are. Why do they do that? Well, they need flexibility. When their previous just so stories that were being peddled as actual science get pummeled, which they all do. They can just pivot and say, see, science correcting itself, QE. Friggin' retards. This is that, like I said, this is a big one. Science never proved things. Well, that it's a reification fallacy just on its face. We're going to show otherwise here, but it's fallacious. Reification fallacy. Science isn't an entity. It doesn't take action or have volition. It's a method, for fuck's sake. The scientific method. Scientific proof. Yeah. Biology for majors from Lumen Learning, forming a hypothesis. Let's see if actual science proves things. Let's go right into academia and see what they say. When conducting scientific experiments, researchers develop hypotheses to guide experimental design. Makes sense. A hypothesis is a suggested explanation. It's not, it's a supposition, but we'll let them go. That is both testable and falsifiable. You must be able to test your hypothesis, and it must be possible to prove your hypothesis true or false. Frigging duh. Why are ballers saying the exact opposite of what academia is saying? Why is that? That's another question you have to ask yourself, because you're all saying it in unison, poor dumb bastards. They're not following what their pseudoscience priests are even telling them, right? They're just left-wing fuckwit faction, just making shit up on the side. Idiot clowns. It's like shooting hippos in a fishbowl. Genome research. Students are taught the proper way to do science is through the following steps. First, devise a hypothesis, and then design experiments that will, what? Prove or disprove their theory. The conscientious scientist follows this with deliberate collection of data from these carefully crafted experiments, and the data prove or disprove. It has prove or disprove and experimental proof 3 times in this short citation. What the hell's going on out here? And the data prove or disprove the aforementioned theory, thereby placing a new stepping stone in the path through the jungle of our unknown universe. It seems obvious that this is the appropriate way of moving forward in science. You think? In fact, in most published papers, the hypothesis is put forth, followed by the experimental proof. No, that's the way it should be. But in fact, that doesn't happen. And ending with a restatement of the veracity of the theory and potential future steps. Prove and disprove. From Anne-Marie Helmenstein, PhD, Biomedical Sciences. Look at this. A hypothesis is a tentative answer. It's not. It's a supposition, but we'll let her go. To a scientific question. A testable hypothesis is a hypothesis that can be what? Proved or disproved. Why do the ballers always say, well, science doesn't prove things? I can go on for days with these. Why is it? This is foundational. Well, duh. Hypothesis that can be proved or disproved as a result of testing, data collection, or experience. Only testable hypotheses can be used to conceive and perform an experiment using the scientific method. Requirements for testable hypotheses. In order to be considered testable, two criteria must be met. It must be possible to prove the hypothesis is true, and it must be possible to prove the hypothesis is false. It must be possible to reproduce the results of the hypothesis. Why are these professionals saying the exact opposite of dipshit baltards? The question you have to ask yourself. Here we go again. Kristen McClellan. Even the pseudoscientist Geological Society, they can talk the talk, right? They can't walk the walk, but here's them talking the talk. Once the hypothesis has been established, it is time to test it. The process of experimentation is what sets science apart from other disciplines. We heard that somewhere before. And it leads to discoveries every day. An experiment is designed to do what? Prove or disprove the hypothesis. So how can it not be about proving and disproving? If your prediction is correct, you will not be able to reject the hypothesis. Duh. From Craig Venter, the geneticist of geneticists. You know, there's some things we can do in science in terms of proving certain things in life we discover. Why do I even have to do this? Well, to show that we got friggin' conjuring, pretender clown, numpty, dipshit baltards up to the hilt that just don't know basic fundamentals of what they're speaking of. How long you want me to go on here? I go on for days. Right? I could. I think
That'll be tomorrow.
That'll be tomorrow.
Yep.
Good point. Also had Amy S. in Nathan's chat saying proof that science doesn't provide proof, it provides evidence. Real brain surgeon there, right? All right, what's proof and evidence then? Evidence from Merriam-Webster, an outward sign, indication. B, something that furnishes fucking proof. It's the same thing. They're synonymous. Oxford dictionaries. Proof. The first word out the gate. Evidence. Or argument establishing a fact or truth of a statement. From Collins Dictionary. Prove. To test my experiment. My God. Proof synonyms from Merriam-Webster. Confirmation, evidence, validation. From the University of Rochester Physics Lab, a scientific theory represents a hypothesis or group of related hypotheses which has been confirmed, proven through repeated experimental tests. Why do I say that? Well, proven is a synonym of proof, or confirmed is a synonym of proof. Simple. From their alma mater wiki, an experiment is a procedure carried out to support, refute, or validate, meaning prove a hypothesis. Duh, it's a synonym of proof. Follow that? Next block of instruction, how to say yes on Tuesdays. Ergo, experiments prove or disprove the hypothesis. Listen, folks, if you disprove something, you ipso facto prove the converse true. Welcome to second grade reasoning. By the way, here comes the cowbell. Scientists using the scientific method have proven, number one, heat causes water to boil at 212 degrees Fahrenheit, 100 degrees Celsius at sea level. That's 1 atmosphere of pressure. That's 14.7 psi or 101.325 kilopascals. 2, combustion is the result of oxidation reactions. 3, information is only caused by intelligent agency. 4, the lack of insulin with type 1 diabetes patients results in diabetic ketoacidosis. 5, the lack of vitamin C intake in humans results in scurvy. 6, knowledge or the existence of the width path information collapses the wave function. 7, the rapid motion and collision of molecules with the walls of the container causes gas pressure. Number 8, magnetism is caused by the motion of electric charge. 9, plant growth is caused by adequate water, light, nutrients, temperature, CO2, and soil pH. 10, gluconeogenesis results in the production of glucose from specific non-carbohydrate precursors. These, all of them, are absolutely true, proven, inviolable, never to be falsified. Never, ever, ever. Why? Because they were tested and they weren't falsified. Science is self-correcting. This is really stupid. The poster child and undisputed champion of the world for this little fiasco, fairy tale evolution, whatever that is, and yes, I'm still laughing, brought to you by Punctuated Equilibrium. This is Stephen J. Gould and Niles Eldridge. Dr. Niles Eldridge, curator of the vertebrate paleontology at the American Museum of Natural History. This is what he had to say in 1982. Darwin's prediction, that wasn't actual scientific prediction, by the way, but I digress. Darwin's prediction of rampant, albeit gradual change affecting all lineages through time is refuted. So his speculation is refuted. The record is there, and the record speaks for tremendous anatomical conservatism. Change in the manner Darwin expected or speculated is just not found in the fossil record. But it's over. His speculation was friggin' crucified.
Why is that not in the news?
Yeah, good point. Gonna be tomorrow.
Hopefully.
Ergo, punctuated equilibrium, the hypothesis, that's not an actual hypothesis, by the way, the hypothesis that evolutionary development is marked by isolated episodes of rapid speciation between long periods of little or no change. I call it no change change. That's what punctuated equilibrium is. They had to have that because of this. Because this wasn't, their speculation wasn't working out, so they had to add something to it. Right? What's that called? That's called an ad hoc hypothesis. An ad hoc hypothesis is one created to explain away facts that seem to refute one's belief or theory. Ad hoc hypotheses are common in paranormal research and in the work of pseudoscientists. Yep. Niles Eldridge and Stephen J. Gould. Ad hoc hypothesis. There you go. Pseudoscientists. Too easy. This is cut and dry. From their alma mater wiki, an ad hoc hypothesis is a hypothesis added to a theory in order to save it from being falsified. That's what they did with punctuated equilibrium. To save Darwin's non-theory speculation, they posted an ad hoc hypothesis that presto magico saved it. You would think, right? But it follows by definition what ad hoc hypothesis is and what pseudoscientists employ. This is well duh, right? I can't break this down any further. Science is always changing, the next train wreck, right? Really? So these scientific proofs always change the list that I just gave before. These are always changing, right? Friggin' bozos. Pseudoscience just so stories always change via ad hoc hypotheses. Why? Well, because they were never scientifically validated to begin with. That's why. That's why they say science always changes. This is a romper room circle jerk. It's got Hegelian dialectic all over it. Or in that vein. Yeah. Wonder if I want to stop here. Let's go over what a scientific theory is, and I'm going to stop it after this. Colloquial use of theory. Theory, this is from your dictionary, is a mere conjecture, a guess. Why do people equivocate it with an actual scientific theory? If a colloquial theory is a mere conjecture or a guess, it's the direct opposite of this. From Chemistry About, the scientific theory summarizes a hypothesis or group of hypotheses that have been supported with what? Repeated testing. That's not a conjecture or a guess, is it? That's the exact opposite. From Quarks to Quasars, a scientific theory consists of one or more hypotheses that have been supported with repeated testing. Pretty clearly different from a colloquial theory. Hey? From University of Rochester Physics Labs, a scientific theory represents a hypothesis or a group of related hypotheses which has been confirmed, proven, through repeated experimental tests. The exact opposite of a mere conjecture or guess. Why do people equivocate fallacy between those two? That's fallacious, by the way. You can't have an actual scientific theory without it already being validated or confirmed by experiment, that is, hypothesis tested. It goes in that order. Hypothesis, then theory. Not theory, then back to hypothesis. That's stupid. And you can't have math or equations in a flippant scientific theory either. Again, stupidity. Category error. We're stopping right there. Questions, comments?
I have one. It's one thing to detail the problem, right? Like with peer review, but you offered a solution. Can you go over that just a little bit more?
Oh, the solution. Oh, you like that, don't you? I put that together a while ago, and I did it. Who'd I do it for, Betty? Was it PZ Myers that I smoked that one time? I think it was him. Hold on a second. Let me find it.
Yeah, it's a lot of people can point out problems, but to offer a solution, that's really what you want. And
Yeah.
I would like for you to go a little bit more in depth into your solution.
I don't know why I need to go more in depth. It's pretty cut and dry.
Right, but the
I'll go over
people that would.
Yeah, I'll go over it again. I got it up. So the only aspect that should be expertly reviewed. And what happens here is, people, these referees are hired. They're not hired. They're not actually paid. They're incorporated by the editors of publishing houses and journals. Right? That's what peer review actually is. Right? And what happens is, I told you, they sit inside a room with really bad coffee breath and a highlighter. Right? And it's all subjective. They're not doing any experiments that I don't even know if they spell check. That's probably one of the things they do. But that's all they do. That's it. That's all peer review, right? And you could see if people are sending in like to these prestigious journals, like things that would upset the apple cart. When the referees get these things and they see that it's upsetting, the apple cart at the magazine or the journal, then they just dismiss it. They can just make shit up, right? And say, nope, we're not publishing that. Or if there's a personal agenda, let's say one guy doesn't like the other guy that's doing his little bullshit research, then he could just make up a fucking, just make something up and then reject it. And then they got the little funding game going on in the background too. It's a real joke, right? So when people say peer review, your red flags should be going up as soon as you hear peer review, in an objective method. It's not part of it. They just put it in there by fiat. But anyway, the only aspect that should be expertly reviewed at these journals should be whether or not the researchers followed the scientific method, right? If they're science journals, like butchers, they need to know whether you've been butchering cows, cutting up cows, right? Well, it should be part of the scientific method should be right at the top. So, like I said, it should be. Go ahead.
So, sorry, should they be
Well, I
able
was
to
just-
repeat the experiment?
Say again.
Shouldn't they? Is there some other people also trying that same experiment instead of sitting at home just reviewing the document?
No, yeah, but that's outside of peer review, though. That's the repeatability part. That's not peer review.
How do we know that it is repeatable if nobody does it?
Yeah, you got to go find it.
You gotta go find what?
You got to go find the repeated experiments. But like I said before, most of these, if you go, I used to let my fingers do the walk and just go into NCBI or Google Scholar and just pick a topic. It wouldn't matter. I could just pick a topic and then do a keyword search for hypothesis, independent, dependent variable, and experiment, and I'd get 0 fucking hits. I don't know how many times I've done that. I stopped doing it years ago because it was a joke. We used to do this. I told you back in the day at university, I remember getting my schedule, right? And it had introduction to research. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to bore the shit out of me. I said, number one, I got bigger fish to fry. Number two, this is going to be a waste. this is going to be a waste of my time, right? But as it turns out, that was one of the crucial, fundamental courses that I could have ever taken. Has somebody got their mic open?
Yeah, me.
Why?
Why? Because I want to comment on something.
I'm not done yet.
It is on this topic.
Oh, my God. Go ahead.
Just go on.
Oh, go ahead. What did you have?
I think that sort of we spoke like not on the same topic, sort of, because I was under the impression back in the day that peer review meant that some other people read the report or read the research paper and also did the same thing.
No.
Just to see if it was repeatable. But now the specifics on these papers, nobody ever really tries to replicate the experiment.
Well, that depends. Some experiments are repeated, but it's not done by the peer reviewers.
Yeah, then it's bogus.
Well, peer review is bogus, yeah.
But because of that same reason, because if they don't really do the experiment themselves and see if it really works, I can write up some stuff as well, even using maybe the scientific method, right?
Yeah.
And it will not be repeatable, perhaps.
Yeah, you're tied. You've been indoctrinated to think that peer review is these people get the paper and they go in and, okay, let's get the experimental design. Like I said, most of the papers that are coming to them don't even have experiments in them. So how are they going to repeat something that's not in them to begin with? Number one. Number two, they ain't doing it anyway. Even if there is an experiment in there, they ain't doing it.
Then it's not what I thought it would be, right? Back
Yes.
in the day. I know now that it's just what you said that it was, but I mean, isn't that ridiculous? I mean, it should be tested because these people could just talk out of their behinds.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Okay.
So as far as the peer review process to make sure they follow the scientific method, how would you establish the council of experts given today's pseudoscience being rampant?
Well, the editors do that. They pick the topic is either cosmology, astrophysics, paleontology, whatever that. Most magazines they're pretty specific on what they do. Others are more eclectic, but that would depend. So the editor would assign quote unquote subject matter experts. They're not the same 3 or 4 or 5 people for the same every single topic. You'd have a pool of subject matter experts that the editor would pull the referees from. Follow? You're not going to get You're not going to get an astrophysicist, PhD in astrophysics, going over a paleontology paper. It's not going to happen.
No, I understand that completely. But given the pseudosciences are rampant and the majority's understanding of what science is, how could you develop a subject matter experts to enforce the scientific method?
Well, you can't. They have nothing to do with the scientific method because they're all pseudoscientists to begin with.
Yeah, that's the conundrum, though, isn't it? Like
that's how the skids are greased. But they give it a name only, peer review. Like Betty, she was indoctrinated. She just told you what the problem was, that people think that peer review are these expert experimenters sitting back waiting for the papers to come in, and then they have this, I don't know, warehouse or something. They have all the experimental design frameworks that they received the paper from, and they just conduct the experiment to make sure it's the same. Well, that's a crock of shit.
Right, but they don't need to be doing that. They just need to be ensuring that the person who is doing the experiment followed the scientific method, right?
That's what they should be doing, but they don't for any number of reasons. If
it's variable, independent variables, somebody can just make that up.
But you're missing the point from above, where less than 1% of the scientific papers submitted to journals follow the scientific method. So what do they?
Basically, write off most of the papers then.
Yeah, so what they're reviewing are fairy tales, and it's a circle jerk.
Is it sort of a fairy tale book for the scientists or the supposed scientists?
Just take Humpty Dumpty and then submit it to friggin' Nature. See what they do. They might post it if they're getting bored. If it's at the end of the day, they might not even read it. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, and we could publish this. Hold on. Some people have done that. They've sent bogus papers into these journals, and they were a cluster screw, and they published them. Yeah.
Truly.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Mein Kampf was published by a scientific paper, supposedly scientific. Mein Kampf.
Scientific journal.
Scientific journal. They just replaced Jew with white Christian male, and they published it.
Unbelievable. Isn't that I don't have words for that.
Well, hold on. But the thing is, there seems like there is a way to fix it. It's just
Betty, go on mute. Go ahead, John.
It seems like you're offering a way to fix it, but I don't know how you would get to the point where you could fix it because of how rampant it actually is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's also worse on another level, of course, because when you have like an extraordinary mind, and someone like people say that Tesla was, right? And he is an inventor. He invents something, and something comes out of this, which is a new sort of way nature works, for example, like with maybe electricity, something like that, you know? These peer-reviewed people have no idea how that mind works, right? So how can they even report on this or say anything about it, right? And what you end up is that nobody can ever go beyond what is already done, right? So this basically the biggest minds always been established. It can only be a copy of a copy and degrading eventually, because nobody can be out of the box thinkers.
Well, they don't have to be. They would just have to ensure that he followed the scientific method. They don't have to know or understand how he come to his conclusion. They just need to make sure his conclusion is valid, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but still, if you can't repeat the whole experiment or do it, you can't even say that it's valid.
That's true, but that still doesn't recuse them of the fact that they would have to have the sign. Like what's in front of you. Remember before you interrupted me when I was on my rant?
Oh my God. Am I accused of that already?
That's all right. It gave me a chance to suck down part of an orange.
Let me shout out some super chats, by the way.
We got super chats.
Yes, you got James Mays, and he says, "I'm working. Present, good. Thumbs up. Day all. Good day all."
Thanks, James. Good to see you out there, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And we got Flat on Flat Earth, and he says, "Great show so far. So far, as far as you know. Thanks, QE, and cheers to all honest people on Flat Earth and stationary Earth."
I can lift my glass to that. Thank you very much.
Yep.
And
what?
That's it.
Sorry.
Honey! Sorry. my wife, she's going to get pissed.
Oh, and that we don't want to have.
You don't? Yeah, I don't want to have that.
Well, luckily you married her, so you don't want to.
She's a very lucky woman.
Yeah, she doesn't know what she has. Yes.
Hey, QE, I got a question if you're done with Super Chats.
Good.
Do you know when the peer review process became the predominant means of determining what science? Do you know when that happened? Anybody have any clue?
I can't understand you. You're going to have to say that again.
Do you know when the scientific peer review process, whatever, I guess it's not really scientific, but the peer review process became the predominant way of determining what's scientifically true? Do you have any
No, it's not
basis for that?
scientific.
No basis.
No, it's
I
not
know.
scientifically true anyway. That's nonsense.
Well, I know that the system uses that as a basis for it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well,
Not
it
that
would
it's true.
I don't know the exact date. It would be the publishing companies. So when the big publishing companies came out, that would be right around the time that it came out. I don't know when that is. Do you know?
I don't. It's a question I was just seeing if you knew.
Oh, no, I don't. I don't know.
I mean, it could be one of those things that this bunch of scientists got together, say, look, let's create a consensus bureau so we can peer review each other and say this system is accurate or whatever. You know what I mean? I think it could be something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure that definitely did happen. Yes. It probably happened at a high level also. And then all the other publishing companies, journals just followed suit. Yep. That's definitely how it went. Yep. So can I
Really
get...
became an...
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I said it became an ad populum, basically an ad populum. We all agree that's why it's true.
It's more of a consensus, but they've got... Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yep. All right, can I get back to my rant?
How long is it going to go for?
I don't think it's going to go for that long. It was going to be real short. I was getting to a point before I was rudely interrupted.
Well, wasn't it valid questions we had?
They were, but it really didn't have anything to do with what I was talking about.
Yes, it did. You talked about peer review and you didn't give us a chance to respond right then.
I refuse to honor that.
Go on with your rant.
I was on a roll. I can't get back up there.
Maybe it's a good thing for us because you were getting overly excited, and we have to think of your heart.
Which is big, by the way.
Yeah.
Like secretariats.
Yeah, but the big heart usually is not a good thing to have.
That's a philosophical conversation. We don't want to go down there. All right.
Science point thing. Right? Go on.
So I'll calm down and say it. Okay, I can remember getting my schedule at some point at university for the next semester and seeing what the hell title was it? Evaluating research. That's what it was. And like I said, when I looked at it, because I had all kind of classes on there, and I had, like I said, bigger fish to fry, and this class was just going to keep me back and bored, and I have to stay, just a lot of classes and boredom, and just at that time, I didn't think it had any relevance, But little did I know, that was the best class, most foundational class I ever took in my life, and had a blast in there doing it. So never judge a book by its cover is probably the moral of the story. But what we did, right? The professor in there would gather all these scientific journals, Nature, Royal Society B, we weren't just evaluating popular mechanics, right? That's not what we did. We were taking the academic journals, right? And then they'd reprint it. So pass it out to the class, the articles, right? And we would sit there. I don't know. I laughed so hard in that class so many times. I pissed myself on some occasions. That's how stupid these articles were.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Did you have some Pampers on?
Yeah, I can't. I can remember pissing myself.
That's really nasty.
but laughing really hard and just having a great time. I was sad when the course was over. Now, that's not all we did. What the professor would do is teach us how to review literature efficiently in a precise military manner. I like that, right? Because you get some of these studies, they're like War and Peace novels. And by midway through, you're like, you can't even remember what you read. Right? So there's a system the professor just ingrained it into us. And I could, review a research paper in less than 2 minutes and tell you if it's viable or not. I can still, it's like embedded in it. They drilled it in me and I can just do it. Right? So you baltards are screwed. Well, you've been screwed for 7 years. Didn't you know that? Right? You've been screwed.
They need to go after your teachers.
They fucked up. They taught a creationist actually how to research. They fucked up. They made a mistake. Oh boy. Yeah. You baltards been finished. You've always known that. I know this sounds pretentious, but the first time I stepped out in this genre, your fucking goose was cooked. All of
Also, evo-tards, right?
Yeah, evo-tards. Oh, well, I already dispatched them years before that.
Yeah, but they still are there.
Well, yeah, because they're too stupid to realize, poor dumb bastards, that they're friggin' toast.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, got two more super chats.
Honey, we got 2 more.
You got one of Unitox Femu, and he says, my wife said she made more experiments than all people on the panel.
What was that? Oh, that's right. Unitox Femu's spouse is a biochemist, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
She probably did.
What?
She probably did. She probably did more experiments than me if she's... I don't want to go into that, but yeah, that's probably the case.
Yeah, but
it's not... I don't want to say, okay, that's she, but that's she, It's true. She made it. A lot of fucking experiments.
They don't have to be fucking experiments. They could just be experiments.
Yeah, scientific, the real scientific, because I was asking her and she explained to me, I made the penicillin from the blah, blah, blah. I made fucking, I don't know.
There goes another F-bomb. What's up, Sasha?
Yeah, I'm speaking like that, Tommy.
Only I can do that.
Okay.
So don't do as I do as I say.
Yeah,
do not follow anybody.
Yeah, we got another super chat, by the way, from Original D Rose, and he says, "Here's a whopping $9.99, probably for the most influential intellectual scotches, ballbusters. I feel privileged to know. Spend it wisely, QE."
Wait a second. I didn't get all that. Here's a whopping $9.99. You're lucky Adam's not here. Original D Rose, too funny. Shout out to Adam, by the way. He's still rubbing armpits with Italian women. Here's a whopping $9.99. Probably the most influential intellectual scooches. Ballbusters. I feel privileged to know. Spend it wisely. I will, sir. Thank you very much.
That's one arrow.
No, it's not. Well, maybe one of my cheaper arrows, yeah, but not one of my good ones.
What is one of your good ones then?
I would say 12.
$12?
Yeah, but maybe between $12 and $15, yes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I always shoot last in the tournaments.
Yeah, but they don't buy that a lot.
They don't like it too much, but that's all right. They have to put up with me.
Yeah, and then you got another big group behind you, and they're all watching you.
Yeah, that was cool at the last tournament. That was pretty funny. It's really cool, man. Yeah, I liked it. I the way they smiled, because I caught them out of my periphery. We come on into this open area outside the wood line. That's where most of the targets were, but 5 were outside the wood line, and not a field, but it was a manicured field, right? It was really nice. But everyone started backing up. That means we had a group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We had a group of 9, and we had gotten backed up. We're waiting on these other guys. We're sitting around by the target, and they're shooting. We're not paying too much of attention. We're playing grab ass, just screwing around with ourselves. But anyway, we get ready to shoot, and I'm the last one shooting. And I didn't notice that the 3 groups behind me, of at least 8 in each group, were standing there, right? Until I knocked an arrow. I got ready to shoot. I was shooting a 45-yard deer target down there. And I got ready to shoot, knocked an arrow, got my release on, got ready to, draw the bow back. But I caught the whole group out of my periphery. And I looked over my shoulder, and they're all staring at me. And I said, so what you're saying is the pressure's on. And they all just smiled, right? But they knew the deal. But it kind of pissed me off because I wasn't ready to that. I just wanted to relax. So it just aggravated me, right? So I had to fucking bullseye that deer. And that's exactly what I did.
At 12.
Oh, yeah. Pure 12 right down fucking Main Street. Yeah. Yeah.
What was the yardage?
And I turned around. I said, how you like that shit?
What was the yardage?
What's that?
What was the yardage?
45 yards.
Okay. Oh, pretty decent distance.
Yeah. Yeah. But that got off the topic of me shooting last. So last 3 targets, they made me shoot first. They had... Yeah, they said they weren't shooting unless I shot first.
They had a really a mutiny going on.
Yeah, but they were all overly concerned with their scores. So I said, okay, I'll shoot first. And it was a fox at 30 yards, real tiny target. So I shot to the right. I got a 5 on purpose. I said, go ahead, go shoot the arrow. What? A good friend of mine, as soon as I let the arrow go, as soon as he seen where it hit, he pissed himself laughing.
Yeah.
Too funny.
Especially if you do that on purpose, just to not.
He knew for sure. As soon as it hit, I didn't even turn around. I heard him start laughing. But that's all I got for archery today. We're not going to go down that road, but it's a lot of fun. Yep. So we're gonna
real quick. Wait, Pewy, real quick.
How the hell can you say that so fast? Wait.
Are these are inanimate targets like drawings of scale size foxes and deer, right? You're not actually shooting these animals.
No, they're
just listening.
No, they're 3D targets. They're made of foam.
Oh, okay, got you.
That's it.
They don't make
Presentation, please.
appear a fox in front of him, right? And that everybody has a chance to shoot it. That would be hilarious, by the way. Okay, God, next animal. Line them up, God.
I've been waiting for the monkey for I don't know.
You need under the safari tag or something.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, Should I show him the? I didn't do the full safari course. But when we pulled up to the shoot, they had a safari lane where and like I said, we didn't sign up for that when we did the North American range. Next year we'll probably do the safari. But yeah, there probably would have been a monkey on that course. Do you want me? Should I show him the picture?
If you do want to, you dox yourself. That's
How can I dox myself? It's just me.
Everybody will know what you look like.
Oh, and they'll know the people that were with me.
So?
That might not be a good idea. I don't want them to get any
Flack from.
Yeah, flack. Yeah.
Flack.
Yeah, I want just in case that it's highly unlikely that anyone would know them or know anything about them, but maybe I'll just keep that to myself.
I think it's best. Unless you're going to, sort of do a little whooshy thing over their faces.
Yeah, I don't want to adulterate the photo.
That's true, but the giraffe is really, there.
Yeah, so we shot the giraffe. The thing was like 25 feet high. It's just a
get
fun.
on a ladder to get your arrows back, huh?
Yeah, you got to climb a ladder to get the arrows. Yes.
Too funny.
Yeah.
It's a really expensive target, I suppose.
Oh yeah, yeah. So they go around all over the country. It's similar to TAC, but it's not as challenging. Still a good shoot. It's just not crazy like total archery challenges, but similar concept. A lot of fun. Okay, so where are we at?
Super chats.
We got some more super chats.
No, this is it.
Oh, that's false
I knew you
advertising.
would go to respond now.
That's false advertising.
It is. I just wanted to say that if people want to make super chats and donate arrows, make it a good price.
Yeah, you got. As soon as you said that, 8 people dropped.
8 people dropped.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh.
Friggin'
Oh,
communists.
All right.
Now that's it for the science presentation for today. Because
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop it for today.
Where was your rant?
I finished my rant
I missed it.
on the introduction to research or evaluating research. That was my rant.
I think it's usually when you rant, there is some lot of like explosions of loudness.
Explosions of expletives.
I don't know what that means, but I think it could be meaning that.
Yeah, but it was getting there. But you had to open up your mic and stop it.
Yeah, because I didn't want to let it go that far. But yeah.
Then since you didn't want to let it go that far, then why are you asking for it now?
Because usually that doesn't matter, and you'd still blow up.
That don't make no sense.
Yeah, you do. That you really don't make no.
Yeah, no, you don't. Yeah.
You don't. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So what's next for the next time that we are together again?
We're not going to leave yet. We'll spend a couple minutes just shooting the
No,
shit.
but I just want to see sort of like build a bridge for next week. But that people that.
Well, there's no BALLBUSTERS Saturday because I got another archery shoot that's close to home though. I'm thinking. Remember, I advertised the Dorkemer.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, just keep your eyes and ears peeled, people. That I'm thinking Sunday evening that there might be a treatment coming up. I'll go live. So I'm not promising anything. It's looking, if nothing comes up, then Sunday afternoon or evening I might do a treatment on Dorkemer, Mortimer 81. Freaking numpty dipshit.
You gotta start doing a treatment on Nathan.
Well, it's interesting you say that because I was thinking about asking Nathan to review one of his earlier shows.
Really?
Just to see. Yeah, like review what has been done and how the tactics have changed of the ballers.
Oh,
It'd just be
that's
interesting to see.
So this is an older one of Dorkemer?
Well, not Dorkemer, but I think it was Ruhith, and the claims he made like 6 years ago. I think it was episode 168.
Oh, yeah, back there. Yeah, I got you. Oh, that's pretty unique there, John. I like where your mind. I like where your mind's at. Chocolate would absolutely love that.
Why?
Well, I was listening to it because like it's important to not forget where you come from, so you can identify where other people are coming from. And I was listening to it. I was like, this guy would have never made it 2 sentences in nowadays, but
Yeah.
he's being allowed to talk.
Yes. Well, why, Betty, is Chocolate loves to compare and contrast what ballers used to say with what they say now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
It's
you
good to
did.
review maybe some of these old videos. That yeah.
You think I should do it?
Why not? Maybe there's a good one there. And
That's a
maybe you can
lot.
fix
That's a
blocks and-
that's a lot of looking through.
True.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Were these videos like in a certain amount of time back in the day?
Yeah, but it's still that doesn't relieve the fact that I have to go through them, all the FED episodes back there in the day.
Yeah, but you might be just doing them randomly and just see if there's something in there.
I don't do random.
I had to think about a response to that, but
You'll be there for a long time because you're not capable of abstract thought.
I'm a woman.
Yep. Lacks reason and accountability.
Oh, God. I'll slap you.
And you didn't catch on to Neil's request there, Betty. Did you hear what Neil said?
No.
Go ahead, say it again, Neil.
That'll be
Of course,
tomorrow.
I'm on the other side of the room when you asked me.
Of course.
I said we need to start reviewing Nathan because he's getting very wimpy lately. I don't understand.
Ooh.
Ooh.
He's watching us because I saw
That's fair. But
a Ye May Begin. So.
Oh, did he? You may begin out there.
Yeah.
Damn, Neil. Nathan might be listening.
Good.
Good.
Wake him up.
Ooh, we got another super chat. Yay.
Look at Tony.
Tony Whitcomb.
That's pink. Honey.
I've never seen a pink one. I love it when you don't rant, Kiwi, but love it even more when you do. Passion is everything.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
This will make you passionate, right?
Thanks, Tony. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
the problem with doing Nathan is, though, is when he receives a valid criticism, he usually just accepts it and then highlights it. And that's no fun.
I know, I hate when he does that, right? You're like, damn, get mad once.
That's correct. That's fuchsia, right? The color. Fuchsia.
That is a nice. It's like a fluorescent magenta.
Magenta?
Yeah.
No.
No?
No.
Magenta is a little bit darker?
You know how we pronounce...
we talking colors now?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yes, Neil. We're talking colors. So that whole name with fuchsia, you call it, I think? We call it fuchsia.
Oh, fuchsia. Fuchsia, right? Yeah.
Fuchsia, we call it.
Huh.
Yeah. The CH is basically pronounced as a K.
I kind of like that. I do like that color.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's soothing yet aggressive.
Soothing aggressive. Yeah. The next time they will paint your bedroom in this color. See how you like that.
I wouldn't go that far.
Like totally Barbie.
I don't. You're going a little bit too far there.
Sort of the male Barbie color, I think.
Well, isn't it a magenta that sits on both sides of the visible light spectrum as far as its wavelength?
Ooh, now you're getting all
I
scientific.
thought magenta was the other dog in Blue's Clues.
What a fucking clown.
Hey, we got another guy here in that I remember his name, Chaiki. Isn't he a Boltard?
Yeah.
Huh.
He's a mask wearing cone numpty.
Hey Chaiki, how you doing?
Doing good. I burned so much weed here.
What'd you get kicked off at Gem Pandas? What brings you?
Well, I was here, Neil.
You speak so muffled. Do you have something up your nose or? I'm sorry, I can't hardly hear you.
Sorry, better?
A little.
Cheap earpiece. What can I do?
It's like you having a runny nose or something like that.
Betty, would you stop trying to diagnose him?
Chaiki, give us
would
one
like to.
gradient. Give us one gradient, please.
No,
What?
I would like to. I would like to hear his opinion on QE assessment of peer review, making people be held accountable to using the scientific method. Does that seem reasonable to you, Chaiki?
Listen, I told you I burned so much weed. The way I saw it is we're lucky we have QE to keep those bastards in check. What would science do without it?
Got that right, Chaiki.
I know. I was prepared for it.
So you don't have any valid criticism of his position on peer review?
Hell no. How could he?
No.
No?
No. How could he?
Well, there's people that have responses
Well,
directly. So.
It's like peas and carrots, man. It's that easy. You
What is
can't.
peas and carrots?
Huh?
What about peas and carrots?
It's easy like peas and carrots. You can't
Why
contradict
is it
peas
easy
and carrots.
I don't get the analogy.
It doesn't take a rocket surgeon to figure this out. It's very simple, like peas and carrots.
I go on to another analogy, but the peas and carrots, what do they have to do with one another?
I just told you.
What do
Well,
peas
now-
have to do with carrots?
Oh, brother.
All right, we're gonna get lost in this. The solution is extremely, extremely logical. It's just how to implement the solution. You know, how do you get there? That's what flat earthers should be focused on instead of how to prove ether. They should be figuring out how to hold the scientific community. Well, I'm trying to throw up my fingers and do the hashtag, how to hold them accountable to the scientific method.
Most don't know what it is. So you're going to have to teach them first.
Not only that, quite frankly, what does it have to do with a terrestrial plane? That's kind of like deterring the whole point of what you're standing for. You're either an etherist or a flat earther. You can't be both.
Damn.
Concentrate on try to concentrate on winning that battle.
Somebody
That's still never ending.
Somebody snuck in ether into this discussion. Can you believe it?
Yeah, what does that have to do with anything
my
with
fault.
John said it's my fault.
Okay.
Well, I was just saying, instead of
Oh, yeah.
focusing on outlandish ideas or answers to solutions that we don't know, instead of focusing so hard on trying to give a just so story, holding the people that are giving just so stories accountable for what they say using the method that they say they're using. Why aren't people doing that if they're a flat earther?
I don't know if there's an answer to that. It's a really good question, John.
Yeah. We don't know.
Well, there's only two answers. Hey, everyone.
Hey, what's up, Brian?
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Betty. Hey, Kiwi. Hey, everyone. There's only two answers, I think. It's either they don't want to, right? They know they should, but they don't want to. Or their intellects don't allow them to understand why they should do it. That's the only two answers I can come up with.
Good
Yeah,
answer.
Brian. Yeah, Brian, but you'd still be Irish.
Yeah, no matter what I say, still Irish. Can I ask a question?
I'm thinking no.
Yeah, okay, I will then. I was asked for a citation in the past couple of days from a guy of a video I made about airplanes. And he asked me to cite, right, where horizontal is a constant orientation and not just a local phenomenon. I go,
what?
Who the hell is going to have? Do you know what I mean? Because even if, no matter what citation you come up with, you have to demonstrate the citation then, right? It's no good without a demonstration. So how are you going to demonstrate that horizontal is a local phenomenon? If you came up with a citation that it was, someone cited that it was a local phenomenon, how would you demonstrate this? You can't. And who's going to make that citation?
You know what that request remind me of? Let's make a deal when he just come out and say, I got $500, whoever could pull out a rubber band with a living rabbit hanging on it. Right now.
Well, hold on a sec. So he's asking, I tell you what, he's a flat earther that thinks that flat is local, but he's still a flat earther. Is that what he's telling you?
Well, yeah, it was about airplanes. I was pointing out that horizontal is a constant orientation. You can't break horizontal. All pitch is determined from above and below horizontal. And with an airplane, it's extremely important because pitch determines the amount of lift they have. But the thing is that how do you break horizontal? And even if someone came up with a citation to say that horizontal was just a local phenomenon, how would you then demonstrate it? how do you, how do you break, how does horizontal become an inconstant? I don't get that.
That's pretty retarded, man.
It is, yeah. It's a bit of a shocker.
And this was a flat earther asking?
No. This is a bowler or whatever asking me for. But it's like I can't remember what I replied to him, but I was in shock while I was writing. It's like, who's going to have that? You know what I mean? It's a crazy citation to look for. It's like I mean, horizontal is just, it's defined. It's a definition. It's defined. You don't need, people don't go around making citations for horizontal. Do you know what I mean? It's just a definition. No one's going to have a citation to say that horizontal is only X amount of length, or it's not X amount. No one's going to have that. It's impossible. I don't know, where would you get it? I don't know. I still don't know how to come up with what he asked me for it.
Why is there silence?
Maybe everyone's looking for that citation. Like.
I just leave for a little while to just get something to drink and I hear silence.
Well, yeah, because I wasn't here.
Why aren't you there?
I went out to the kitchen to check on something, and I looked out in the garage, and my car's gone. I'm gonna string my wife up.
You have a high enough tree?
Oh yeah.
And how's the gas pressure in the kitchen?
What does the gas pressure in the kitchen have to do with anything?
Oh, we have gas. I cook on gas.
What the hell does that have to do with stringing her up?
Yeah, that's something. This conversation, whatever.
That's
you have the gas pressure still in view here in Discord.
That's pretty damn random. What did you eat some shrooms when you left?
Oh, some spelt.
Same thing.
Sort of a kind of popcorn. What?
Hold on a second. I'll get back with you. Yeah.
Going to the kitchen again?
No, I'm staying here, but I gotta write a message.
For who?
My wife. Guess what the message is?
I'm gonna string you up.
Where's my damn car?
So you don't even hear her drive away from?
She didn't say anything to me. She usually does. If she's gone anywhere, she'll.
I'm busy. She didn't want to interrupt.
That's a that's a poor ass excuse.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. You're just trying to give her a way out.
It's a normal excuse. You wouldn't be disturbed.
She disturbs me other times.
Taking the car out,
She disturbs me other times.
and you like it too.
Oh, brother, now we're getting off. It's like playing whack-a-mole with you.
Yeah, you had your goal right open.
Yeah, the goal's wide open. I'm shocked that you didn't ask what Neil's favorite color is next.
What is your favorite color?
Oh, so I did want to mention this. The video we were reviewing on Nathan's show was a alleged debate between. Do you remember Patrick, the gentleman that was with Nathan when they were debating the Nancys?
Patrick.
Yeah, remember the Nancys debate? The guy from Netflix and the other absolute idiot that will just disagree to disagree, idiot.
It might be too long ago.
Man, I called him Nancy.
You call everybody Nancy's. Sally's, Betty bread makers, whatever.
All right, it was Patrick versus the McBooger eater, bum sniffer, McBlockhead. Oh, it was. I'll tell you what, Betty. If you want to listen to something so convoluted and so dizzy from an abject retard, listen to that. If you need consolation that you have some intelligence, listen to that. That'll give you a lot of confidence. Yeah. I'll tell you what, the stupidity, the contradictions, the just randomness. It looks like what he did was he's taken some old 1956 physics textbooks and gone back in the glossary and then taken a geometry glossary and just put a blindfold on and started wherever his finger landed. It has terms and phrases there, and then he just marked those down and then just randomly try to put them all together into some semblance of coherency. That's what it sounded like to me. It's the jumblest clusterfuck, one of the biggest jumble of clusterfucks I've ever seen, ever witnessed. It's really stupid. I mean, second grade retard stupid. And he thinks he's an intellectual, which is the hilarious part of it.
Yeah.
Yep. So there you go. That's what we did.
He's also, in the past couple of days, Mark Sargent made a comment on some podcast that if someone could, it was in the context of people saying, when people say, I saw the curve of the globe Earth from an airplane. This kind of thing that people say to people.
Right.
When you point out that, the Earth is not a globe. And he said, in that context, he said, in a podcast, he said, just take a photograph of this curvature and send it to me. So Wolfie, right, has some, all I can ascertain is that he's in the cockpit of a plane that he's claiming that he's flying at whatever altitude. Right? There was no claim added into what altitude. But from what I can ascertain, it's the dashboard of the cockpit he's using in the dark to try and claim that he has a photograph of a curved horizon. Right? And they're trying to use this photograph, right, from Wolfie, this little bit of video from Wolfie. And there's actually, if you look at the bit of video that they show, on the instrumentation below, you have the HUD, that green kind of false horizon, the HUD. It's kind of on a floating screen, and below it there's instrumentation, and the instrumentation below it is showing no changes and no pitch whatsoever. It's just like totally level. So all I could ascertain from it was that it was a little bit of video taken, and the way that he moves the camera, as he moves it up, the cockpit gets darker, and like a circle closes in around the HUD, right? And it starts blanking out the HUD. But the whole point of it is that it's like he's sitting on a tarmac at sunset, and he's in a dark cockpit, and he's trying to use the dashboard of the cockpit, but you can't see the definition of it because it's dark, and claiming and because the sunrise is shown just at the edge of that it's a photograph of the globe's geometric horizon from an airplane, and MC Toon is trying to use that to get Mark Sargent, because Mark Sargent said if someone could show him a photograph of this claimed curvature from an airplane, he'll leave flat Earth. So MC Toon is trying to pressure Mark Sargent into leaving completely because of this photograph. That's what he's up to.
MC Toon got a picture of the horizon below surface level, did he?
Yeah, according to him, yeah.
Yeah, the stupid ain't going to stop there, I bet. Did you ever find a citation that not curving is a local phenomenon?
Yeah, no, I never did. But he's trying to use this thing, and I left a comment on MC Toon's video yesterday to say that's just the dashboard. That's just Wolfie up to his usual trickery. He's always up to some trickery. And I just explained what it was. That's just the dashboard, and I pointed out all the problems with it, what's happening with the HUD and everything. And I think that I'm aware of, I got no response. I looked for my comment, it seems to be gone. I don't know. The thing about it is that, come on.
Betty! Betty!
Yes.
Guess who's out in chat?
Yeah, I said hey to Davey.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Brian. Go ahead. What's up, Davey?
I know that was the end of that. Like, it's just that's what MC Toon is doing. A while ago, he was making wiki fandom pages, trying to dox as many flat earthers as possible. And when that page got taken down due to Paul complained about it, and the page got taken down, he said he's going to make another one. So he's just going around doing nonsense, like trying to dox people and trying to catch people out on silly stuff using fraudulent proof to try and get people to leave flat out. Like his desperation level is ridiculous. Like, I mean, I don't know what's going on with the guy, but he mustn't get much sleep.
Damn, I spelled that wrong.
What did you? Oh my God, did you do something else?
Yeah, I was answering somebody. Davey said I'm all right. What was I gonna say? Well, McBooger Eater,
my island is on fire, but I'm safe. Well, that's good. Does he live on the mainland or?
Oh, that's right. I forgot to ask him about that. Well, he just told us Hawaii. We never got into. I thought he was on Oahu.
Wasn't he on Maui?
I thought it was Oahu, but you could be right.
Isn't it? But the fires are Maui, whatever.
Yeah, Maui. Yes.
It's sort of a cat island.
Well, miss you. Well, ask him.
Ask him what?
Ask him what island he's living on.
Don't you think that he listens to our conversation?
I don't know.
Yeah, he lives on Maui. See, I didn't have to ask.
There you go. Yep. It's pretty bad shape there. One of my good friends just left there on vacation. He just got back yesterday. I have yet to ask him if he actually had anything to do with it.
Yeah, run away from the crime scene, huh? Well, it's usually the people that set things on fire, they want to see how it works out, so they stay.
Have you seen the rise? Well, I can direct you to where you will be able to see it. Have you seen the rise in the realism of AI? It's so real. I have a reason to bringing this up. They're able to make it so real now.
Yeah, QE, you know, the other day I was talking about something and
somebody's
talking.
Neil, Brian was right in the middle of his statement, dude.
That might be on purpose with Neil, but anyway.
That was my way of making up with Brian.
Oh, I got you.
Forgive you, Brian.
I got you. That was really.
Forget it, Neil. Don't worry about it.
I like it, Neil.
I owe Neil an apology anyway.
I like it, Neil. Thank you for that. That was really good. I appreciate. I like where your mind's at.
But yeah, because this is pertinent. I'm sure Betty would have an interest in this. Because I was listening to a conversation with Paula and that yesterday on the after show. I wasn't on it, and it was just after, on the. I was a member, so I listened to it afterwards. That they're making AI so real that there's girls out there who guys were so convinced were real people, were real girls. There's these guys, and they get onto the OnlyFans site, and they started giving money and becoming simps for these girls. And when they're finding out now that these girls aren't even real, and some of the simps on the thing aren't even real. Some of the simps are only there to promote simping of these girls. And that they're all in a big uproar about it. It's hilarious, right? There's all these guys who fell in love with a computer-generated girl, right? Because they're done so well that it's very difficult to tell whether she's real or not. So if you do the same with an alien, right, or something, or a monster, in no time flat, you have a lot of people believing monsters are real.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever. You know. So
yeah, we live in really dangerous times too.
Well,
sounds like the globe trick. It's like they updated the globe trick a little bit.
With aliens. Or not? What do you mean they updated the globe trick?
Well, you just got to get enough people sitting there agreeing, and then you know, it's truth to those people because they agree.
Yeah.
what I find with the people who are in the promoting aliens type thing, not the people who are like paid to do it or the agenda people, but the people who've been kind of conspiratorial for the past 10, 15 years or more, who have YouTube pages and that. What I find about them is that they're fed so much rubbish for so long that some of them are totally skeptical about the whole thing at this point. But there's a large portion of them that as soon as they see what they're told is an alien, that will be purely AI, computer generated, that they actually will believe it because they've been needing to see this for so long. Because they can do it so well now that I like. There's some of the girls I saw on this this guy I follow. He was doing a kind of a short kind of a skit about this. Some of the girls I saw, it's very difficult, like, to tell the difference between them and just a girl who's normal. They just look at girls who've been hitting the gym. That's literally what they look like. So when they show one of these guys an alien, or one of these people who follow these alien type stuff, they're going to just believe it because they've been needing to see it. And that's going to be weird. Like, they won't even want to accept maybe that it's AI. I don't know. I mean, expect to see both Bigfoot in the close future because they have the technology to make Bigfoot look believable.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think that they use it for? The whole alien thing.
Well, it promotes heliocentrism. It can also be used to promote fear.
I think
You
that's
know, if the alien
yeah,
invasion kind of.
yeah. Fear is like that drives people right to do stuff, change behavior.
Well, it seems, Betty, I could be wrong, but it seems that I'm almost 46 years old. From my observations throughout my life, people aren't happy unless they have something to be scared of, as en masse. Do you know what I mean? People aren't happy unless there's a big disaster to be worried about.
Yeah, because
You
people
know,
are too like bored out, right?
yeah.
I mean, there's nothing to discover in this world no more. Everything is being done, said, and written down. Everything has been done. So when you want to be original, there needs to be some sort of like danger to overcome.
Well, they have said before that if they wanted the population of Earth to come together under one rule, they would need an outside threat. There is that possibility. I ain't saying that is why they would do it or fake it, but that would be a stated reason for doing it. I think it was Ronald Reagan made that statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 1985. He said that. He said if we had an outside threat, that would bring us all together. Kind of
Well, that
attitude.
could also be COVID, right? Because that's also something that's a threat to humanity, so to speak. They thought that might do the same trick.
Well, the world wants it. The problem is that they're looking for lots of things to be scared of because they don't want to be scared of the things they should be scared of. They should be more scared of judgment, as in divine judgment and things like that. Do you know what I mean? So they're looking for other things to be scared of so they don't have to address the things they should be scared of.
True.
You know?
Yeah. Well, there is one niche also in the whole truthist community where they say that these aliens and the alien abductions, when people call on the name of Jesus, these creatures disappear. So when they are being abducted and they call on the name of Jesus, they disappear, and that's being shunned too. That's being sort of counteracted, right? Because many of the people that are have these sort of experiences, and they have these large communities, and also they think that they can benefit on these aliens and stuff, and they might have even children, like hybrids and stuff. And I followed that back in years ago, and I was thinking, okay, that might be something, right? Might be something to that. And I had a whole book of it, and it was like really scary that how whole families would have these visitations of these aliens. But in that book was not the solution, because if the solution is to be in Christ when He just helps you out, right, with these aliens being the devils basically, then you know what we are really under attack of, right? The whole agenda that we now is being rolled out in mostly the Western countries. They want to have that one world government, for that they are working on for so long, right? Ever since the Tower of Babel, right? And now they try to get that again. So it's really basically that there's a war on the people.
Well, you know the reports about people. I've heard about those things before, where they say that people who have been supposedly attempted to be abducted by aliens, once they used the name of Jesus, that it repelled them.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that they can also start saying that doesn't work, right? Because I've heard that being used and being said that it works not with aliens but with something else, and I've also then heard of reports where it doesn't work. So consequently, what can happen is that Christianity is so big and it's so strong, especially in the Western world, that even though I'm not a Christian, there is good values in Christianity. So if they can make people doubt Christianity, they'll pump it up first with claims like, if you call on the name of Jesus, you will repel the aliens or whatever, right? Who have bad intentions. But they can also pump out that it's not that it doesn't work, that suddenly it's not working. You know what I mean? Which takes away people's beliefs or the validity it has. So it turns out being an attack on Christianity and basically family values and just the whole value system of Christianity, as opposed to being a help. So they give people the impression that this happens, that people can repel aliens by using the name of Jesus, and then they'll take it away by saying, yeah, go on.
When you call out the name of Jesus, you better be sincere about it. Otherwise, you wind up like the sons of Sceva.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, but I think that their plan is that nobody is being abducted and calling on the name of Jesus. No one's being abducted. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like they're just giving the impression that when this is happening and people are calling on the name of Jesus, that they are being saved. But they'll also then turn around and start saying that calling on the name of Jesus is not working, which is taking away people's faith in it, in Christianity. Do you know that kind of way? That's, if I wanted to attack Christianity, that's how I do it. I pump it up and then I bust the balloon.
They don't need to, Brian.
Yeah.
They're already doing it by the whole transgender movement.
And not only that, Betty, the churches out today do a great job on their own. The Joel Osteens and the Kenneth Copelands, they're doing a great job on their own.
Yeah, but those mostly are state churches. They have been incorporated into the state already, right? Like they have in China. I mean, yeah, but also the transgender and all the other agendas they have right now. It's all basically a giant war on us, and the last thing that they could do is sort of make an alien invasion happening and say, oh, the Christians happened to disappear because those were the wrong ones and whatever. Right? It might also be a cover up for whatever.
Yep.
You know, that's what they say. We need to.
Well,
be
they said in the last days they're going to call evil good and good evil.
Yeah, and they're doing it right now. I mean, they try to sort of legalize that the whole child. Loving on child things. I don't want to call the name, with the P it starts.
Oh, there's some abductions going on. But they ain't got nothing to do with no aliens. Got to do with other humans abducting these children and these women out here. That's the abductions that's going on.
Yeah, but you can easily say, okay, well, aliens did it, right? And then you are in the clear. Yeah.
The AI thing.
Stuff going on.
Sorry, Betty.
There's a lot of stuff going on, and I think that we need to be aware of what the tricks are, and well, at least the scientific method shows us, at least with the whole pandemic or pandemic stuff, that we need to be vigilant and aware that they try to say that things are safe and effective when they are not. And that also accounts for other stuff. I think that Bill Gates still wants to sort of block the sun, and I think he he has the EU also on that same idea. So it might be that they let loose some cloud of dust or whatever up in the air, and then no food for the next 3 years. That's these people. They know what they're doing, but they say that it's for the climate. For the best.
I think half.
Go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I think half the time they're only trolling us, though. I don't think that some of the things they come out with, like people like Bill Gates and that, I think half of the time they're only just trolling us. They're just creating fear and anger. But many years ago, when there be a problem, right, in your local community or with your government or whatever, people didn't have internet. They didn't have any way to share anything. They didn't have mobile phones, didn't have even text or anything. So you just had landlines. People met up and they, let's say, let out their frustrations publicly in a group, a physical group of people who publicly let out their frustrations with the government or with whoever, right? These days, they can put something out there and cause uproar, right? And people are angry typing stuff on the internet, on social media. And they blow out all their frustration comes out in social media and things. And then there's no action taken towards the thing. And the thing, half of the things are only put out there just to waste people's energy, to give people the impression they're going to do something. And people are, something like Bill Gates might say he's going to block out the sun, things like that. And it's just like, it's like they're giving the impression this is going to happen or something similar is going to happen. And they have actually no intent in doing it at all. They're literally just laughing at you. You know what I mean? Behind the closed doors. They're trolling you and allowing all these people to leave out all their frustrations on the internet, and then when they're too tired to do anything, then they'll put in whatever plan they intended on putting in. Do you know what I mean? It's like a shark. What a shark does is a shark will try and scare somebody before it comes in to eat them. Not every time, but sometimes. So it will show you its fin, or it might come in and bite you. So you start losing blood and getting cold, stuff like that. And a shark puts somebody in a position where they're so weak or that they give up, or they're so scared, they're too scared to defend themselves or anything, and then the shark eats them. So the same kind of thing is happening with these people like Bill Gates, is they put out crazy ideas that cause uproar, and then people end up, all the things they want to say to Bill Gates, or all the things they want to do against them, they've wasted their energy typing on social media and giving out to their friends, and nothing gets done. And then things like people like Bill Gates just get to do whatever they want to do because everyone's too busy giving out on the internet and making themselves tired. You know what I mean? It's like there's not affirmative action with people these days because they go straight to social media.
Sure.
You're right. You're right. They're vampires.
Could be, but I'm looking at the Bible, and what it said that there will be a mountain thrown into the sea, or some comet coming down. Well, throwing a lot of chalk in the air sort of is also like from a mountain, and it covers the whole earth, and then you can't have any crops growing, right? I mean, there's so many things that are still going to happen, to my understanding, and we need to be aware that these people have, well, not good plans with us,
Yeah, or they could be just keeping you in fear, because that when people get angry, oftentimes it's fear. But anger is fear a lot of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of the time it is fear. So you get angry instead of feeling scared, but it's fear that drives the anger. And it's like they're putting people in positions where they have something to be scared of or get angry about all the time. And they don't ever have to do anything, just keep people in these positions on a regular basis, and they're easy to control. Angry people wear themselves out, and scared people do not. And it's psychologically, I would find that if I wanted to control a large group of people, that's how I would do it. I just keep them that way. They're not interfering in what I'm actually doing because they're too busy being angry or being scared.
So what is your solution then, Brian? What do you suppose we do?
Well, don't get angry at him and don't be scared. And then, you can see it for what it is. Because how many times have I heard about this person is doing this and that person's going to do that and they're going to do this thing and that thing. And most of them never come. Like, let's take the COVID-19. That came out of nowhere. No one was expecting that. So they're not going to tell you what they're going to do. They're going to just do something that you're not expecting. Do you know what I mean? Nobody saw that coming, right? Other than the people who were intending on making it happen.
When it came, I did recognize it.
Yes, but they hadn't told you they were going to do it like blocking out the sun. Do you know what I mean, basically? No one told you that was going to happen. No, if you go back to early 2019.
The devil usually has to show us before he does something, right? Because the temptation needs to be there, or it's like in Job. The devil will always have to show us what he does before he does it. And it's in movies, it's in television shows. even in their own news or predictions. I mean, that Klaus Schwab is telling us what he's planning. Basically, he has no secrets.
Yeah, but my attitude on that, Betty, would be that they're more like conditioning you for it. Like I have no evidence that they have to tell us what they're going to do before they do it. I have no evidence that they have to do that. But if they want it, if they,
Thing is not even there because most people don't believe it. Most people don't believe. I mean, if I ask my own family, they don't believe that that what I see is coming is not. They say it's not coming. So there goes your theory, right?
well, the thing about it is that something like COVID-19. I mean, the world in general. Like if you told people that was on the way in 2018, nobody had listened to you. So, but when it came to late 2019, early 2020, suddenly the whole world was stuck in a claimed pandemic. You know what I mean? It's like
because of
nobody wants to hear it. But the thing about it is that that was something that most people didn't expect. Where did this come from? Most people never expected it. They knew it was a possibility that there is a possibility that there could be a virus that could cause a lot of problems. But that possibility is all they used. They just used that possibility and gave the impression that that was what was happening. And everyone just in 4 days, the whole world folded. 4 days.
Well,
it was over.
Could we battled that? How could we have battled the whole pandemic?
But see, you can't. And why I say that is,
Brian, when I say this is, and why I ask you this is because if everybody knew what I knew back then, and everybody wouldn't have complied on all these measures that were being taken, then they couldn't have done what they did back then. But it is the ignorance of most people. It's not the knowledge of all people. So if I know that they are going to do stuff or try to do stuff, I think that's better to know. I'm not fearful but the most things that I fear is basically that other people are ignorant about these things, and they are basically taking me towards that abyss, right? They are the ones that dragging me down below, right? I'm trying to get them to see stuff. If they all saw it, it wouldn't have happened. Because they tried this in 2015 with the Mexican flu, pig flu or whatever they call it, right? And it didn't work then. But now it did. People were ready for it.
well, I'm sure they had a few trial runs with SARS and other things like that.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is that why I say, when you said, what can you do? And I said, nothing. And then you answered your own question, because you can't change the populace. You can't stop people being ignorant. You can't change someone's mind.
Exactly.
No matter what you do. I mean,
Brian, I'm sorry. I got to interrupt you, Brian, because you were right. When that shit first hit, you were saying everybody should go outside and burn those masks.
Yep.
Well, even that was afterwards. Even that was afterwards, because the masks didn't turn up straight away. But when they did, I said people should go onto Twitter and that and go hashtag burn a mask and have a big bonfire of mask burning in the community.
Right.
Because we're not dealing with it. We don't want to know. But the problem is people don't want to rock the boat. People don't want to listen to the person living next door to them, their neighbour, telling them this is wrong. They want to listen to the person on the news who's supposedly an expert, whether it be Dr. Fauci or any of these people. And that's the problem. Your problem is not Dr. Fauci. Your problem is all the people who listened to Dr. Fauci, including governmental types. You know, and local medical people in your own local area who are going around telling you, does this happen?
I'll tell you what, you guys are skirting closing this channel down. So,
well, I only started talking about AI, so I'm not guilty of any of the rest of it.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Betty, take us home.
Why? I already am home.
Why? No, Betty.
That'll be tomorrow.
So you don't want to take us home?
Are you going to shut me down again like you did all these other times?
Most likely, yes.
Yes. People, go home. How about that?
That's good. Thanks, Betty. Thanks, guys, for a great show. I hope you got a lot out of the science presentation in the beginning. Again, no ballbusters on Saturday, but keep a weathered eye out on Sunday afternoon to evening time, and we'll go ahead and do a treatment of Dorkimer. All right? So everyone hang in there. Catch you on the flip side. QE out.
There is no triangulation in celestial navigation, so it is actually triangulation. There is no triangulation in celestial navigation, so it is actually triangulation.
With celestial navigation using a sextant, we're not triangulating.
So it is actually triangulation to the GP. So you can draw it on your chart, draw a line there, and then you do it for all three, and you get your intersection. So it is actually triangulation. There is no triangulation in celestial navigation.
With celestial navigation using a sextant, we're not triangulating.
So it is actually triangulation.
Are you serious? Are you...
The double-speaking McBooger-eating, ball-tarred bum sniffer wouldn't know what the sextant or celestial navigation were if they climbed up his arse and started kicking footballs wrapped in concertina wire.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
I think the sun is a physical object, and I think it is solid enough.
What the hell did you just say?
I think the sun is a physical object, and I think it is solid enough.
Say what?
Yes, a gas giant bounces radar.
How in the world can a
gas giant
be
solid enough? So yeah, I don't know, you
dumbass cracker.
So yeah, I was being a hyper. That was a hyperbole.
Hyperbole.
That was a hyperbole.
Hyperbole. Hyperbole.
That was a hyperbole.
You are so dumb. Damn.